So we have Siddharth with us. Siddharth, you qualified UGC NET in code 55 for JRF
Yeah.
and assistant professor both. How's your feeling?
So it's a big relief. This was not my first attempt actually. I had taken UGC NET once before. This was back in 2020. Around that time, I had gotten a score. I don't remember the score exactly, but I had done fairly well in paper one. But paper two is where I was found lacking, and I could only qualify for LS and not for JRF.
Okay.
Back then, I was just doing self-study. I had not taken the help of any institute like Human Peritus or anything else. So I think that was the main difference. This time, it felt like a big relief because I had taken some time off my previous job and I had, given it time to study properly. So yeah, it feels good to, when the results validate your efforts, it feels really good.
Okay, so Siddharth, can you tell something about yourself, your background, academics, anything you want to do?
Yes. Yes. So I have done engineering for my graduation. I passed out from UPS Dehradun back in 2015. 15 to 17, I worked with IBM in Bangalore. 2017 is when I took CAT and got through MHROD. It's a college in Delhi University North Campus. Delhi School of Economics has a Department of Commerce. So I've done my MBA in HRD from there. 17 to 19, I did my MBA with focus or specialization in human resource development. I interned with Godrej Agrovet in Mumbai. Then I joined ICICI Bank as a management trainee straight out of campus. I worked in their head office, Mumbai BKC, for about a year and a half. Then I quit from there due to coronavirus, came back to Delhi, and I joined the United Colors of Benetton. It's a clothing retail company from Italy. They have their India office, head office in Gurgaon, Sector 34. I was placed there, where I was taking care of, I was leading the corporate relations hiring and also the talent management function. Then I decided that I wanted to venture into the public sector and see HR from that perspective as well, and maybe just maybe try to get into academia, do some research, get a PhD, things of that nature. February is when I quit my job and I decided to take this seriously. Around February, I thought that May is when the exam is scheduled, right? So I will study for a month or two. I will do proper study for this exam this time and then take it in May. But unfortunately, as you will be aware, that the exam got postponed a lot of times because of the coronavirus situation. During that time, I kept studying. It was really hard to keep motivated, but I, kept trying to keep myself updated and study almost every day towards that exam, even though I did not know when the exam was going to take place. This really helped me because in between, I took a couple of exams. One of them was NBCC Management Trainee exam. Got through NBCC. Today, I'm working as a management trainee in NBCC. After that, the NET exam also came. I took that exam. I was not really confident because my preparation has dipped slightly after joining NBCC because the motivation levels had come down. But with the help of the structured content of Human Peritus, it went really well. I was not confident about the result, but I was pleasantly surprised when I got through the JRF also along with LS. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
So Siddharth, I guess you placed at very well position, right? So what made you ignite to go for UGC NET? Like, what was the thing
so as I briefly mentioned, my primary motivation would be to get into academy and research. That is something that really excites me. I like working with numbers, and research is one field which gives me that opportunity, right? Somewhere down the line, I have not planned this out well or yet, but somewhere down the line, I see myself getting a PhD. So which is why I wanted to get a JRF, because to get into one of the top colleges in the country, you have to, have some credibility. And JRF gives you that credibility nationwide.
Yeah. So, Siddharth, what was your preparation strategy? Is there any difficulty you faced during that time? Yes. What was your journey of preparation?
Yeah. So, again, as I touched upon this earlier, initially, when the first time I had taken this exam, I analyzed why I had not qualified JRF, right? And one of the main reasons was I did not have a structured learning, material or platform for paper one, which is the differentiator in my opinion. Because everyone can study for the subject. Anyone can study for the subject, right? Which is paper two. But paper one is where you can get ahead of the crowd. So I did not have a good strategy for paper one. And for paper two as well, I had read a lot of books and I had studied labor laws and OB and everything. But I did not take any practices the first time around. Second time around, because it was a big decision for me, I decided to invest, completely into this exam, which is when I stumbled upon Human Peritus. So I'm married. My wife is also an HR manager. Her name is Juhi. She suggested that I do this structurally, and she suggested Human Peritus. She said that she had heard, great reviews. On her recommendation, I purchased the Human Peritus pack, wherein I got 10 books, 10 booklets of study material for paper 1 and paper 2. And also I got the access to online learning platform where I could take tests. And I think taking those tests every day was a differentiator for me, because after reading every unit, I used to take the sectional test. For example, if you study leadership, you take the leadership test, right? If you study something for paper 1 Indian logic, you take the Indian logic test. And those tests really helped me in grasping the concept fully. After the platform also, I would like to say, of Human Peritus is really nice, because even after you take the test, you get the opportunity and chance to analyze your answers. And that is one thing that I recommend everyone should do, because that is something I did extensively. After taking the test, I used to sit down with a calm mind, analyze the answers, and analyze all of the options of the answers. And Human Peritus, I think, is one organization which adapts as these iterations go on. And the study material that Human Peritus has, and also the test series that you guys have, really helped me, because those tests, those questions are taken directly from UGC NET syllabus, I think, and basis, I think, the analysis of a lot of questions that have come in earlier editions. So yeah, test taking would be the key differentiator, I would say, in my strategy.
So Siddharth, can you tell me something about how to manage the time, how to divide the time for paper 1 and paper 2?
I understand. So first thing is acknowledging that paper 1 is really important. We tend to shy away from things that we don't understand or are not comfortable in, right? So let's say you have 100 days of studies, or 100%, whatever way you want to put it. I would recommend putting in at least 25 to 30 days in paper 1, because that is where you can make all the difference. Everyone is studying for paper 2. You study really hard, you will probably score 80, someone else will score 74. But the difference comes in paper 1, wherein not a lot of people are able to get a high score. This time I have qualified for JRF. My scores in both paper 1 and paper 2 are 74%. So my aggregate is 74%. I got 74% in 1, 74% in 2, which helped me clear this exam. So the major difference would have been, had I not studied for paper 1, I would have gotten 74, or let's say even 76 or 78 in paper 2. But had I got, let's say, only 60 or 62 in paper 1, I would not have qualified for this JRF. So this, you have very rightly pointed out that paper 1 is something that people do not take seriously, and hence do not devote a lot of time to it. But in my opinion, you can create a lot of difference between you and others by just putting in some effort into paper 1, and plus the syllabus is not that much. And if you have dedicated study material, if you're not studying if you don't want to study the likes of Manorama, etc., for GK or static or whatever, you can just study focused material, because there are a lot of questions which come from very set chapters, right? For example, logic is one, where you can expect 2 to 3 questions: Indian logic, Western logic, and then there is climate questions related to climate, Rio conferences, and all of those things. So those things are very nicely divided by Human Peritus into bite-sized modules, and those are not hard to study at all. If you dive into environment and say, for this exam you want to study all of environment, you are wasting your time. But if you have a focused approach and a guided approach, then in a short amount of time you can get really high scores in paper 1.
So how to divide the time, how much hours one should have to study to crack UGC NET?
So that in my opinion, that would depend on the number of hours you have in a day to study, right? If you, let's say, are taking out 3 hours, if you are taking out 3 hours every day to study, at least give 45 minutes to 1 hour for paper 1 initially, and then towards the end, you don't need to study it all the time, right? Because labor is a much bigger, paper 2 is a much bigger syllabus, so you need to study that every day. So once you're comfortable in paper 1, you can drop that. So for example, if there are 100 days, study paper 1 for the first 30 days, then drop it, then pick it up in the last 20 days for revision. So middle 50 days, you can just study, you can hardcore focus on paper 2 only. That will give you ample time to study paper 2 and also get time for paper 1. One needs to realize that paper 1 has a lot of factual things, right, which you need to remember and memorize. So just study it once for conceptual understanding in the beginning, and towards the end, study it again for revision. There is no need to study it every day, but one definitely needs to revise it before taking the exam, because those are dates and years and names of conferences which one needs to remember and memorize.
So any suggestion for future aspirants from your side?
I would just like to say, Human Peritus has not paid me to do this promotion. When I speak highly about Human Peritus, it is only because I speak from the heart. And I have seen the difference in my own preparation in the first attempt and the second attempt. And I would say one of the key differentiators for me in terms of success was, taking this course. If as an aspirant, you don't want to do the classes itself, that's okay. You can do your self-study. But I would highly, highly, highly recommend the test series. Definitely go for the test series and take tests regularly, because I was blown away by the kind of structure that Human Peritus has put into the syllabus, right? And the options that they give to analyze your scores, compare them with others, and take the test again and see how you performed. Taking tests is important, but analyzing those tests is equally important, if not more, right? So I would recommend to everyone. This is unpaid promotion once again, but do definitely check out Human Peritus's online test series at least. And if financially you are able to afford it, please also afford buy their books. I guess you would probably, Pooja, be able to help with the exact name of the course or exact name of the series which I'm talking about. But there are 10 books, approximately 10 books which come. 3 are of paper 1, part A, part B, part C. And then there are 7 books related to labor and all of those things. Part 2 basically. So these 2 things are the things that I have done for my own preparation study, and I would highly, highly recommend them. If I'm not wrong, it was worth approximately 10,000 rupees or something, right?
Yeah,
it's the cost
95.
So I had invested roughly 10,000 rupees into this course, but it has for me at least reaped very high results. So I'm really, really satisfied, and I would like to recommend this to everyone who's listening to this.
Siddharth, actually you people did a lot of hard work, right?
No amount of book study teachers can make you pass any test or exam if you are not willing to work hard enough. The work of this study material in this test series is to structure your preparation. Instead of running in every direction, you run forward, and that is the work that these a structured study material and test series do for you. And they can be done poorly, they can be done well, right? Yeah. And Human Peritus has done it really well. So yes, one needs to study hard and needs to devote time, effort, energy, everything, but it would add to your preparation if you invest into something like this.
So any other thing you want to say to our future aspirants?
No, I just wanted to. I have only taken this. I would just like to take this opportunity to thank Human Peritus because it has really helped me in my preparation. Right, I know it's almost sounding like an ad, but it comes from the bottom of my heart. Right, it has been a differentiating factor for me, and yeah, I would recommend this to anyone and everyone.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thanks for giving your precious time. All the best for your future. Thank you.
Thank you.